This is exactly how you get more done in 1 month than what most people get done in a whole year. This video comes after me doing my Sunday reflection this morning. So a reflection I do every week. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy with how the week went from a lifestyle perspective. So I just moved here to Koh Samui, Thailand, hence the different setup. However, from a work perspective, I am not satisfied. Now I've done some journaling this morning, so we've got a value-packed video for you. So let's get into it. So the first way is by having no optionality, right? So there's no split focus. I remember at the start of last year, there was at the start of 2024, there was a 6-month period where I tried car flipping. I tried videography, video editing. What else did I try? Social media marketing agency, car flipping, marketplace flipping, tried all these things. And my focus was way too split. And on top of that, I was training, doing the 3-hour morning routines, and nothing worked. So my focus was completely split. So more on this, you've got to keep the main thing. So have your main money maker, right? Put everything aside until you're fairly competent and quite successful making some good money from that business. And you also just want to have like one main thing, like hobby to do else. So that hobby might be training. So if you're training, working, that's it. Training, working, as well as networking, and just keep the main money maker the main money maker. And like I mentioned, in that 6-month period, tried all these business models. That's the shiny object syndrome. So there's always going to be other opportunities that pop. And I don't know about you, but when other opportunities pop up, I analyze them, do some research on them, and then it always comes back. It's like, no, I'm in sales. Let's get to 100K a month here, then look elsewhere if I want to. So I do the research and then I don't follow through with it because I'm like, no, keep the main thing. Even just doing that research, having those wandering eyes, that's a waste of 1, 2, maybe 3 hours. So avoiding that shiny object syndrome, but even looking into it, it's just a waste of time. Because you know, like when you pick the business model that you're going to pursue, relentlessly pursue it. Don't look elsewhere. Relentlessly pursue it till you're quite successful. Then once you've got a lot of finances and capital behind you, then you can start looking elsewhere to invest that and put that to use. So maybe it's equity in another business over here, or a real estate or Airbnb, a property like that. But you can only get that once you've got capital behind you, and you can only get the large amount of capital behind you once you've stuck to one thing for an extended period of time and become quite successful with that. So keep the main thing there. Now, the second point is calendar time blocking, but relentlessly sticking to it. I suggest on Sunday, so I do a reflection session every Sunday. I also recommend that you do the following week's calendar. So if you've got to book some appointments for something, let's say you've got a haircut, got to book some PTs, book it in on Sunday, put it in the calendar, and you want to have like at least 80 to 90% of your entire calendar done for the week. Ideally as much as possible, but sometimes you're just pending someone to get back to you to book something in, which I get. When we do this on a Sunday, I want to make sure you're in a good environment, you're feeling good, and you've had like an enjoyable Sunday. Maybe you've done a recovery session, done a sauna, some ice bath, come home, do some reflection and plan the week. The reason we want to do this in a really positive state is if I'm coming from a place of scarcity and I'm in a shit mood, for example, and I do up my calendar, I'm going to half-ass it. I want to make sure I've got my full attention, full focus on doing the week's calendar when I'm in a place of abundance and I'm feeling really good, because that means that when I'm putting things into my calendar, I'm going to have my best interest at heart, coming from a place of abundance. But if, like I said, if I'm in a shit mood, you might be like, okay, just have that afternoon, that task might make 2 hours, whatever. But really, if you're in a positive mood, you're like, okay, I can pump that out in an hour and I can pump that out after. Then you time block it more efficiently, effectively, ultimately getting more done in the week. Now, the third tip is all about your environment setup. Got good habits, got bad habits. What we want to do with the bad habits is we want to increase the friction to actually partake in that habit. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I like to smoke, and in my bedroom, got some papers, got some weed grinded up. I don't want to smoke weed anymore, but it's still in my bedroom. Let's say it's maybe 3, 4, 5 days after you said, I'm no longer smoking this, no longer partaking in this activity. But in the back of your mind, you're like, holy shit, it would take me literally 1 minute and I can be outside having a joint. So the friction to actually partake in that activity is extremely low. So what we do when we want to get rid of a bad habit or reduce it, throw out the paper, throw out the weed. And then if that thought comes 3, 4, 5 days after I said I'm quitting, I'm not smoking. Okay, what do I have to do? Okay, so I've got to go to the shops, got to get papers, got to get a lighter, even if you want to throw your lighters out. So that takes an hour. Then I got to go see old matey to get a little bit of this and that, get a little bit of green. That's another hour. So it takes 2 hours for me to be back home having a joint. That's a lot of fucking friction if you ask me. So when you're in that state, like a bad habit, to actually partake in a bad habit might only last 10, 15 minutes. And if you can just push through that 10 to 15 minutes, you don't smoke weed. Same thing with junk food. If you've got junk food in your kitchen, in your pantry, and you say, I'm having a really clean diet this week, really clean diet in general, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night, you've finished your 2 training sessions for the day, you've had a big day of work. I really want a pack of chips, or I really want some chocolate. Takes 1 minute, go to your pantry and get that. If that, 30 seconds, that's a problem. So we throw out the junk food, and once again, oh, okay, I've got to get on Uber Eats, or I've got to go to the shops. That takes 30 to 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour. I'm not gonna partake in it. Too much friction. Same thing with reducing the friction for your positive habits. You should have your calendar made up, so you wake up, check your calendar, follow the plan. You don't have decision fatigue. Oh, should I do this task? Oh, should I do that? Just wake up, follow the fucking plan. With a desk setup, clean it the night before. Wake up, sit on my chair, computer's in front of me, open it, working. Takes 30 seconds, 1 minute to work, if that. So inclusively, increase the friction, the bad habits, decrease the friction associated, partake in the good habits. And with the environment set up as well, not just physically, but it's also the people you have around you. Have a little bit of fun with them. Like if you catch up with someone, have some funny conversations, but they're not a net positive for my life. Cut them out. If they're not doing anything, they don't have to be successful, they just have to be pursuing success, in my mind at least. Pursuing mastery in one certain area and having that ambition. Like if you've got that, like I've got friends that they don't necessarily make money online, but they're pursuing a fighting dream. Seeing how obsessed they are with becoming the best fighter, becoming a world champion. I want to be around them. That's fucking contagious. Give me that energy. So you are the sum of the 5 people we're around. We all know this. So if they're not a net positive for your life, fuck them off, cut them out immediately. I know it's hard, I know it's brutal, but you have to be selfish. Because you look at all the winners and top performers, all the billionaires, world champions, etc., etc. They've all been selfish to a degree. So you need to be selfish. Cut these motherfuckers out. Now, the 4th point is to collapse the learning loop. That comes down to learning the right information, and you learn the right information from investing in the right mentor. So when you make an investment into a mentor, make sure you screen and you validate that mentor first of all. Make sure that they've done what you want to do. When you invest with them, you're getting all the lessons, all the shortcuts that it's taking them from getting to point A to point Z. And if you want to get to point Z and you're, let's say, at point A, and they give you the plan, you pay for that plan, all you need to do is just do the work. And you can talk with that mentor, communicate with the mentor, go through the course materials, and make sure you're on the right track. It's that simple, because you can spend so much time working, but you're working at the wrong things, and it doesn't matter. It's a fucking waste of time. And I know it's hard, like investing in yourself, you've got to save up the capital, a little bit of fear, like, is this going to work? Is it going to be the right mentor? But all of the investments I've made in myself have all paid off. Whether it was my first sales mentor being a 5K investment, my second sales mentor being a 4.5K investment, I had a positive ROI from all of them. And then even last Tuesday, I invested with my third sales mentor, dropped 12.5K with him. When you drop 12.5K with someone, especially paying it in full, when you send that money, you're done with the call, you're doing all the onboarding after, you're like, holy fucking shit, I need to make this work. I've just spent 12.5 grand with this guy. I need to make it work. So when you want to make it work, now you're following the right plan because you invest with the right mentor, but something switches in your brain. It's not like, oh, I'll do some work. Yeah, this would be really nice. It would be really nice to get the 20K a month. This would be really nice to get the 50K a month. It's no longer that mindset. It's, oh, I need to get to 20K a month. I need to get to 50K a month. I just spent 12.5 grand the other day. I need to fucking make this happen. Then you show up and do the work at a different level because you made that investment, you bet on yourself and you back yourself. Alex Hormozi talks about it. It's don't worry about the S&P 500 when you're young. Don't get me wrong. Put a little bit of capital in there, right? I do it. You want to be focused on the S&P 500. No fucking investment is going to be better than yourself. If you invest 100 grand over a year into yourself, into mentors, the right education, and you do the work, you can take your income literally from 10 grand a month to 100K a month. No investment is going to give that return in that period of time. So invest in yourself, invest with the right person, do the work. The 5th point is reflection and planning. So I touched on it with what I do on a Sunday, plan the whole week. What I also do before that is I reflect on the week that's gone past. What worked well, what didn't work? What should I continue to do? What should I stop doing? Is there anything I need to double down on, add, reiterate to my plan, to my calendar, to what I do? When you do this, you analyze your whole life during that week and you get the answers and you get the data to make the best decision moving forward. So with that, what happens is with that information, you can either look at it or you can apply that into your calendar and apply that into the next week. So if I know that a coffee and 2 liters of water before filming makes me feel better, I will make sure I do that for the next week. Put a little 5-10 minute block in my calendar, make sure I do that before I film and record. And that's just one example, but reflecting every single week and making a plan and putting that plan into action for the following week, it's a fucking cheat code. And not to mention, I'm not always habitually with this. I don't do this every single day. When you go to bed, if you have a journal there, just write a few points of what worked well for the day, what didn't work. So you go into the next day with some more clarity. Okay, I need to do X, Y, Z. It's that simple. Now, the 6th point is having a consistent sleep schedule that aligns with your goals. So I know for me, 8 p.m. in bed, waking up at 5 a.m. is what works best for me right now. I will have to make that 6:45 a.m. in bed with a 3:45 a.m. wake up once I'm doing the US time zones. Over here in either coast me, I'll be in Bali by then. I just know that's what I'm gonna need to do so I can get my 9 hours in bed. When you have to have a timer to go to bed, because if you know that time works best for you, it aligns with your goals, that time is gonna work best for you. It's that simple. And when you get 9 hours, I recommend 9 hours in bed or at least 8 hours in bed. But if you're doing a lot of training, physical training, you'd want at least 9 hours in bed. I don't mean 9 hours of sleep, 9 hours from when it's dark in your room to when you wake up with your alarm. So the reason we want to have 9 hours in bed, we want to have 1 hour for fucking around. You might have a lot on your mind, take you some time to go to bed. You might wake up, go to the toilet in the middle of the night. Obviously, we want to prevent these and pre-handle these fucking objections from popping up by having the correct night routine. But we want to allow 1 hour for slack, really. So that means at least 8 hours is asleep. You need at least 8 hours to repair, recover if you're doing that level of training, if you're working all day, essentially. See, last night, for example, I slept for 12 hours. Sounds weird saying that. I was up at 9 a.m. I don't get up at 9 a.m. It's ridiculous, but I did. The reason I did that is the night before I had 3 hours of sleep. The night before I had probably about four and a half hours of sleep. Now I let it slip. The reason I let it slip, I'm in Thailand. I was with some women having some fun. Just leave it at that. It was a very fun night. But once again, it comes back to my main goal being work. It didn't align with work. That's why in this reflection, I'm like, why am I doing that? Don't get me wrong, it's fun in the moment. You have some fun with some girls, but it doesn't align to my goals. So I need to cut that out, or at least put boundaries in and say, hey, no, you gotta be here at 5 p.m. You're gone at 8 p.m. so I can get a sleep, rather than coming around at 9, 10 p.m. and you're with them and they sleep over, whatever. Anyway, we don't need to touch on that. But sleep is the magic power because it solves all the problems. Like your immune system, cognitive function, physical performance, everything is solved by sleep. So if you can optimize your sleep environment and have the correct sleep schedule, you're just setting yourself up for success. Now the last point, number 7, is you're not gonna like this answer. It's just do more fucking work. It's that simple. Do more work. I know we all know this. I know we all know what to do. But if you've got someone in their calendar, they've got 40 hours of positive ROI activities in the week compared to someone who's got 70 hours of positive ROI activity. I don't mean just working that full time. I mean working, training, doing some personal development. That person that is doing, 66%, probably gonna butcher the math, 66% more work in that week, they're gonna get a lot more results. They're not just gonna get the 66% more results. Literally 50% of the results are obtained in that last 20% of work. No one does that last 20% of work. So if you can align your calendar to just do more fucking work at the things that matter, you will get more done. Crazy idea. But everyone does a 40-hour work week. Why don't you do a 60 to 70-hour work, maybe a little bit more? So that's the challenge from today, is apply all of these tips, do more work. We all know what to do. I sometimes slip. I told you I slipped the other night with my sleep schedule. I reflect on it, put a plan in place so it doesn't happen again. Put boundaries in place. So if you got some value away from today's video, smash the subscribe button. If you want to reach out to me on Instagram. Any questions about this, any advice, more than happy to help. But I will see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.